Before I start this video, I want to mention that there are timestamps in the description box below. This video has two main parts. Part 1, Sustained Investigation, and Part 2, Selected Work. In each section, I will give you a preview of the artwork, and I will also show you what I wrote in each box of the submission. For my AP art portfolio, my topic or theme was basically portraying these ancient Japanese 4-character or 4-word proverbs, and my motive was to basically portray that in a modern way and sort of have the art style based on famous Japanese art styles. For example, like the artwork that you see in anime and the artwork that you see in manga. I also drew inspiration from those ancient Japanese artwork with the ink drawings called sumie, and also with the use of heavy black line art and sort of these washed colors, but also using the modern style of having very vibrant colors. When you are putting your artwork into the submission page into the AP CollegeBoard site, they have you write the height and width of the actual artwork. They also have you write what materials you used and what process you used to complete your artwork. So make sure to measure each of your artwork and to note down what materials you used, including the kind of paper you used, or if you used a canvas, what kind of canvas you used. For the process part of the writing, I basically wrote just 2 sentences. I wrote 2 simple sentences about how I made my artwork. So, for example, what material did you start with, and how you built up colors and how you layered each of your media onto whatever material you are using. When you're choosing a photo to submit on the AP page, make sure to take a really good quality picture. You can even take it with an iPhone. Some of mine I took with my iPhone, but for specific ones I had to take it with like a DSLR camera because it was a little harder to get the details with an iPhone. But also don't be afraid to edit the picture after to make it look accurate, like how it looks in real life, because sometimes a photo can wash out the colors and sort of dilute the details that you actually have in your artwork. I also included some of the sketches and process of my artwork in the individual submissions. I also had some of my thumbnails in there. I mean, I basically added this just to show a little more in depth of my artwork instead of just having the completed work. I wanted to show what it took to get to the final result. I submitted my AP art portfolio in, I think it was May of 2020, and because of COVID, we had to do everything online, so we were not required to send in our selected artwork by mail. They also had us only submit 10 of our sustained investigation art pieces, obviously because the last couple of months of our high school was cut off and we had to do everything online. So they had us insert these images for the last, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? For the last 5 art pieces, they had us insert these images just to show that, we don't have to submit those artwork. Normally, when you submit your AP art portfolio, you need to submit 15 different art pieces. But due to COVID, we were only required to submit 10 of our sustained investigations. And normally you would have to send in your selected work by mail, but they didn't require us to do that. The process for submitting your selected artwork is also pretty much the same as the sustained investigation, except for these, I only submitted the final product of the artwork instead of having thumbnails or sketches as a collage. And it asks the same thing, so it asks the height and the width, so the measurements of your art piece, and then it asks you what materials you used and what process you use. The only thing that's different is that you also write the idea behind your artwork. And also for the selected works, we only had to submit 3 pieces, and the last 2 we did not have to submit, and that was also because of COVID. Now, normally you would have to send in your selected artwork by mail, but because of COVID, they didn't require us to send them in. For each of the writing boxes in your AP portfolio, there are also character limits, so you can't just write like a whole paragraph for each of these sections. There's actually a limit to how much you can write. So for the ideas and the materials and the process part, I could only write like 2 short sentences, or maybe you could write 1 long sentence. When you write your sustained investigation in the beginning, there is also a character limit for that, so just be prepared to be straightforward with what you want to say on it, because it can be a little tough to write your whole idea in a limited amount of characters. The good thing about AP portfolio submissions is that you can work on it as you go, so you're not pressured to write everything in one day and submit it on the same day. You can actually work on it before your submission deadline, so that you can make sure that everything looks good, and so that you can also have your teacher review it and give you comments on what to fix. My final score was a 4 on my portfolio, so it's not the most perfect portfolio, but it's the next best score. I was hoping for a 5, but please let me know if you have any questions and leave them in the comments, and I will try to answer them as best as I can.